So I want to start by welcoming you to the Fall 2018 Convocation. Can I hear some applause? My name is Michael Spagna, and I serve as the Provost and the Vice President for Academic Affairs here at Cal State Dominguez Hills, and it's my pleasure to serve today as your MC for the event. To start off at this university, I want to welcome everyone here today, and particularly I want to welcome all of our new faculty, staff, and students. Could we please have them rise, if you're new faculty, staff, or students, to the Toro community? Stand longer. You got to stand longer. We have to applaud until it hurts. Okay, so thank you. Please be seated. In order to really be recognized as members of the Dominguez Hills family, we have to make sure you learn something coming in. We don't have a secret handshake, but we do have a certain symbol that we use to represent the Toros. And I will say I'm really happy to be able to demonstrate this for you today because I've seen some people kind of go all over the map with it, and I checked out with our leadership. So we do have a Toro with the horns of the Toro, right? So like this. Right? So I want everybody just to demonstrate that. I'm doing it in 3D so you can see it because I've seen some people doing some Texas Longhorns. I've been seeing some things from fingerspelling in ASL. So it's like this, and Christian made sure I let you know also it's not a straight snout, it's got to be a curved snout. So if you are going to proudly represent the Toro Nation, you need to do this. And compared to some of our other sister CSUs, I won't cast aspersions, but there's one to the north of us where their symbol is this. So I would rather have this than this. Okay, we are underway with our fall convocation program. It is my opportunity and our opportunity as a community to come together to welcome you to this academic year. You are going to hear from our ASI president today. Our academic senate chair will provide greetings and vision for this upcoming year. And as we have just welcomed new members of this community, we are also welcoming our new president, Thomas Parham. Thomas, please stand. But before we begin all of that, we have a special video we want to show about some highlights, exciting highlights of what's happening here on campus. So we're going to cross our fingers and cue the video.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. Excited about getting started and about the possibilities that we're going to create here at Cal State University, Dominguez Hills.
Say, good day, Toro citizens. Good day, Toro citizens. I respect your humanity. I respect your humanity. And I bear witness to your success. And I bear witness to your success. Give yourselves a hand.
I need to have that soundtrack. That'll get me going every morning. I also want to, as we start the program, I want to make sure that I give a little disclaimer here, because one of my colleagues during the freshman convocation made the statement to all of our incoming freshmen to don't take on the provost in a dance contest because you will lose. And I've had students come up to me and start kind of doing this. So the only disclaimer is I need 24 hours to prepare, and I need to know whether it's flamenco or other types of dancing, so I can master that. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Laura Telemonte, who is currently serving her second year as the chair of the Academic Senate. As Senate chair, she represents CSUDH faculty on campus system-wide and serves as liaison with the president's and provost's offices, supporting the university's mission, goals, curriculum, and shared governance. Laura has been a member of the history department for 12 years. That deserves applause in terms of her support. Teaching courses in French and women's history, and last year the university was very proud to present her with the Excellence in Service Award. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming her to the podium.
Well, good morning. Buenos dias. Bonjour. And we could go on, but that's probably the extent of my language skills. So let me just start by saying that I'm so pleased to be here today. This is a campus that I love dearly. I love all of you for everything that you bring to our campus and that you take out into the community. So I want to just take a moment. Well, first, again, another special welcome to our new president, Thomas Parham. Thank you. And to our new students and our new staff and our new faculty and other administrators. I want to talk about a freshman that I met at convocation. I was trying to take a chance afterwards just to check in with folks and see how the experience had been, and it was really very positive. And one student told me about his summer bridge experience. So coming in the summer, taking a class to jumpstart the semester, learning the campus, right, meeting all kinds of new people. And he said, you know, it was really, once he reached out and got tutoring, that was a turning point for him in the summer, and that made all the difference in his success. And that from there, he'd gone on to meet other people and was going to get a job on campus, and he just felt already so embedded in the community. And I just asked him, and I hope he'll remember, to tell other people that experience, right? Because it's really hard, I think, for many of us to reach out and seek help. But I'm going to tell you that one of the best things I've learned in life is to ask for help. Right? We all need it at various times, and that's what we are as a community, right? We're here to support, to bear witness to one another's success, right? To honor each other's humanity, and that is part of our Toro pride, part of our Toro nation, and what we take back out into the world. So none of us are going to get through this life alone, and it's much, much better with the support of people who you know have your back at various times, and that's for all of us, right? Students, staff, faculty, administrators, we all need to remember that it's okay to reach out and ask for help. So I want to just also say that, you know, as a campus, we really have been growing, and there are people here working all year long, and we have faculty who, while they are off in summer, in fact, what that means is that they're traveling, they're doing research, they're networking out in, you know, the world, really, right? Not just California, not just the United States, but all parts of the world. Can I have some hands for people who traveled out of the country over the summer as part of their work experiences? Right, myself included. And so we really are a Toro nation, okay? And our students were out there traveling in the world too. And so I just want to say that thank you all for what you did over the summer to get us here to this moment, to move us forward, keep us inspired, keep our passion alive. This is so, so important. And for new students, I just want you to know that you are really, you can, I think, already tell, even from the video, I thought, what more can I say, right? That really kind of encapsulates it all. This is a really special community. And you're going to be working with the most passionate, dedicated, and remarkable individuals, yourselves included, right? So let's just give each other a round of applause just for that right there. And I want you to know and remember it's because of the work that each staff member, faculty member, and administrator puts in day after day, week after week, and year after year that our students have the opportunity to do amazing work here on campus and out in the community, right? So we are building that Toro Nation. And this helps to bond us as a community. And for me, that's part of my personal vision that I try to work on in the classroom, that we are a community, that we rise or fall based on what we bring together in that community, that we're not just individuals, right, sort of coming here, having that individual experience, and then melting away at the end of the day. And so I want you to just feel that when you walk across campus, when people you don't know say hello to you, when you just have that sense of like, oh, I'm kind of part of something, but I'm not sure what it is yet. Reach out, start to figure that out, be involved. And I want to say that advice, I think, goes for everybody. We give it to students, step out of your comfort zone, but we need to give it to ourselves too, right? We need to work across our units on campus, work across our divisions on campus, and we're already doing that. And the more that we do that, the stronger we are. And so part of the message of an academic senate chair is to think about shared governance, right? And community is part of shared governance. So we have our Associated Students Incorporated president, Christian Jackson, who'll speak to you in a moment. That's part of shared governance, right? Representative student voice. So how many students out there know that you have representatives for your voice? You got to raise your hands because you know now, right? Oh, thank you. Right. So, and that, it's that working together that is going to take us to that next level in this rising future, this rising tide that we are on. So I want everybody here today to think about how you can take advantage of our campus life. Join our community outside the classroom or the office, right? We're going to do that today when we have lunch afterwards, so that's one of those practicing moments, right, to join the community. I think that your work and your educational experiences will be elevated. These are going to be the people that help you through the ups and downs of life, all of us as a community. So students, gain that leadership experience, join clubs, pick ones that have meaning to you. Take an active role in designing your future, right? This is the moment in your life where you are making decisions to propel you to your future goals and aspirations. And it starts with you, not others telling you what to do, but assisting you to get to the place that you want. So remember that you need to reach out, right? And be part of what helps people propel forward, reach their aspirations and dreams. And that's for all of us, staff, right? Faculty and administrators. We also need to be reaching out for one another, opening doors. And the thing that I want to just emphasize here is that as a growing campus, we're also facing challenges, right? We have our second year of the biggest incoming freshman class ever, right? Also our second year of the biggest graduating class ever. And we have our wonderful transfer students who are helping to grow the student body. But we're also going to see buildings coming down. We have like 2 first-class, 21st century educational buildings coming up, but that's going to be a lot of sacrifices. And a lot of people are already thinking about that, worrying about that, but it means that we also have to remember to talk to one another, right? To reach out for help with the challenges that we're experiencing, to assume that there are people who want to help us get through those challenges, and just to remember that bond as a community. And then finally, I also want to say that, we're all going to have moments of bureaucratic frustration. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's just life, right? And that's certainly part of campus life, as most of us know very well. So again, remember to open doors for one another, don't shut them. If you don't have the answer to the question, let the person know that you'll find out who does, right? And then I hope that we just remember to thank one another along the way, often, right? In small ways and in large ways. So I want you to remember to appreciate the hard work that goes on behind the scenes. Our custodians, facilities management, landscaping, parking attendants, students who keep an eye on the parking lots in the evening to help keep us safe. Our folks in the financial aid office, admissions and records, advising, community service learning and internships, student affairs, academic affairs, instructional technology, our deans and faculty, librarians, our associated students, our folks who reach out into the community, right, work with our alumni and work with the people who want to help build our campus footprint and our footprint into the community and the nation. So beyond that, we've got our students in the classroom, the ones who are leaders in our organizations and clubs, and of course, the faculty who are part of all of those efforts. So I just want to say that I'm so excited for this year and to be working with you all and representing the campus as Academic Senate Chair. And just welcome to the beginning of another great academic year.
So Laura has been an excellent partner, and we are looking forward to another year of stellar leadership and working closely with her. So thank you, Laura. Thank you for your leadership. Now I have the honor of introducing a young man that we're equally excited of working with, and I have to tell you that I think he is studying the area of cybersecurity, so that if you are at the luncheon after this event and you want to seem like you automatically are knowledgeable, go up to him and ask, what's the difference between whaling, spoofing, and spearfishing? And I think he can help you with these. I have to live with this Christian with my wife who's in cybersecurity, and so whenever our 16-year-old is in front of the computer, I have to kind of edge my wife out of the way and say, there's nothing to see here. And I whisper to my daughter, what are you doing? So, okay. Associated Students Incorporated works in partnership with the administration, faculty, and staff, providing input to assist in improving the quality of student life here at Cal State Dominguez Hills. The overall goal is to inform and influence campus governance to the needs and voice of our student population. Leading this very important effort in ASI is your president for this year, Mr. Christian Jackson. Christian is a junior studying computer science with an interest in cybersecurity. Please join me in a warm welcome for Christian Jackson to the podium.
Hello. So I would like to first start off by welcoming the new faculty and staff to this campus. I'm happy you chose to invest in our Toro Nation. To both new as well as the returning faculty and staff, I know that this will be a great year with the reinvigorated passion you carry with you after the break, and under the new leadership of our university president, Dr. Thomas Barham, we are destined to move on to greater heights. I believe everybody serves a purpose, both in this world and on this campus. Faculty and staff, you are the lifeblood that helps keep this campus up and running and looking as beautiful as it always does. And I bring with me the students' appreciation for your efforts. Associated Students Incorporated is a student body government on campus, and we serve as the official student voice. We also live by our 3 core values, which are student leadership, student growth, and advocacy. In my 2 years in ASI, it has given me a greater sense of what I enjoy doing: being engaged in shared governance practices and advocating for students both on our campus and at the CSU system level. It has helped me realize that the greater satisfaction can sometimes come by bettering the lives of those around you. There are many definitions and ideologies behind leadership, but through my growth in ASI, it has helped highlight the benefits of being a servant leader. ASI plays an impactful role in student advocacy, and I want to make sure that this year I am finding a way to maximize that advocacy through receiving the most student input and engagement that I possibly can. Increasing ASI's visibility and approachability is one of our main goals for this academic year. We want to find a way to be able to reach those students that only come to class and then go home. We accept and acknowledge the fact that a lot of our students have to work and are subject to a lot of unique responsibilities. But out of all of those students that directly leave after class, some of them are missing information on things that may be of interest to them and reward them. As students, faculty, and staff, we have to recognize that every moment a student passes up on an opportunity to engage this campus and one of the many resources it provides is an opportunity lost with potential leadership and self-growth. Stopping students and holding their attention for even an hour longer a week will be a step in alleviating those pinball interactions that our president refers to. As ASI president, I am leading efforts within ASI to work towards this task. However, in order for us to fully operate as an efficient group, we need the help of DH faculty and staff. While the faculty and staff are the lifeblood of DH, we students are the heart. Students should be this campus's greatest priority. As we continue to improve the culture of Dominguez Hills, it will be a group effort between students, faculty, and staff. One small way faculty and staff can help this year is to really emphasize Toro Tuesday. For years, ASI has hosted Toro Tuesday to build campus spirit and interactions with ASI. Every Tuesday, please wear your DH gear and encourage your students to also wear DH gear. If these students come into the ASI office on Tuesday with their Toro gear, they can win prizes and ultimately a scholarship. But more importantly, they can engage with their student government office and learn ways to participate in shared governance practices. My hope is for students to walk in the ASI office and walk out with an understanding of what ASI actually is and how it can be of benefit to them in their academic journey. I thank you for your time and I ask you to embark on this challenge with us.
Very impressive, Christian. Thank you. So it's now my opportunity to welcome a new chapter into our history on campus, and it's welcoming our 11th president, Thomas Parham. Now, I have some scripted remarks here, so I'm turning these over, and I'm going to share with you that for me, always a measure of a person's character is what she or he does when no one's looking. And I want to share just briefly with you a window into the integrity and the spirit of the person I'm about to introduce. Over the summer, we had a cabinet retreat off campus, and at the cabinet retreat, we had dinner one of the evenings, and there was the person that was there that was showing us to our table, and I said, she noticed the Dominguez Hills t-shirt, and she said, oh, do you go to Dominguez Hills? I said, well, we work at Dominguez Hills. She said, oh, well, I'm a student. I said, well, did you graduate? And she said, yeah, I just graduated, but I couldn't walk through commencement this past May. So I said, well, we can correct that right now. So I got the president, we gathered together, we took a dinner menu, I had her put her hand on the dinner menu, and the man I'm about to introduce said, with the power vested in me, I confer this, and all the people in the restaurant were like looking and clapping around this. And this is a measure of a man who first and foremost is about students. Please welcome, we are honored to have our 11th president, Thomas Parham, to the stage.
Let me say good morning. Good morning. Let me say good morning to those in the back. Good morning. Good morning. The last line of that video you saw our communications team put together is from Convocation. And I invited all the students to stand up, because part of being a Toro in this space we call Cal State University Dominguez Hills is being able to create a sense of belonging for everybody that's here. Belonging. There are a lot of our students who have intellectual potential to align with the academic genius that is represented by this faculty. But as soon as they struggle, for some who've never gotten a C before, for some who have never failed a test, for some who do whatever, they walk up and then they start to question whether they even belong in a magnificent institution like this. So we invited them to say, there's a new mantra in town. And it is called, and I want everybody in the room to repeat after me, good day, Toro citizen. Good day, Toro citizen. That's so weak. I got guests in the house and they like, I told them the Toro Nation ready to roll. Good day, Toro citizen. Good day, Toro citizen. I respect your humanity. I respect your humanity. And I bear witness to your success. Just imagine if we could walk up and down these aisles every day, and every student we saw and touched heard somebody say, good day, Toro citizen. I respect your humanity, and I bear witness to your success. Just imagine what that does to that spirit. Y'all feeling me? Good morning. Good morning. So it's my pleasure to join all of you this morning as the 11th president of California State University, Dominguez Hills. And on behalf of your new first partner, my spouse, Davida Hopkins Parham, and I want to say how blessed and honored we feel to be joining California State University, Dominguez Hills, and the Toro family at this particular space and time. I want to extend to each of you my sincerest thanks and appreciation for all the congratulatory notes, for all the well wishes, for all the prayers, as you welcome Davida and I to this right space with a firm and emotion-filled embrace. We appreciate it. Please say good morning to your new first partner, my partner, our First Lady, Davida Hopkins Parham. Now, there may be those of you who are wondering about your new president. And what is it that lies beneath the academic degrees and awards, the scholarships and publication, the administrative and clinical experience, the pictures you may have seen, the videos you may have watched, other things you may have read? Well, please understand that I recognize that there's an important distinction between what you do for a living and who you are at the core of your being. I want you to know I recognize that difference. Please understand who I am at the core of my being. I'm a product of a single-parent household. Growing up with my mom and 3 siblings in Los Angeles. Indeed, I am Sadie and William Parham's son. I am Pamela, William, and Gerald's brother. I am Davida's husband. I am the father to 2 lovely and bright and grown and feminist women daughters, Kenya and Tanya. I am a friend to selected men and women who share my extended family space, and a strong man in my community committed to making this community better, this nation and the world a much better place. That is who I am at the core of my being. Now understand what you clap for here, because I grew up amid the social circumstance that predicted a trajectory for me, like so many others, of being less than promising, raised by a single parent who in the 32 years she worked for the government never earned more than about $18,000 a year. Got 2 sons with PhDs, 3rd college educated, nobody on drugs, nobody in jail, nobody in the gang. How do you do it? That circumstance introduced us to a situation that would classify us as working poor. My mom was a cost accountant, working for the government, was a master with number and figures. And yet, despite the training she had to provide to college-educated young men who she had to train to do their jobs, she was thanked with certificates of merit while they were promoted to super grades of 9, 11, and 13 in GS series in the government. Indeed, I've always been keenly sensitive to issues of gender and race and equity in this world. That comes out of who I am at the core of my being. And the trajectory for me was never a certainty, and yet there is no mathematical formula or probability statistic that could accurately calculate potential or really predict with any measure of accuracy the heart I was blessed with, the commitment to persevere through the adversities in life that I had to employ, the spirit and life force that connects me to an ancestral cultural energy and rhythm. And that frames the legacy that I've been blessed to be a part of. Nor could it predict the amount of grace that God would bestow on me that helps me arrive at this particular point in time. I suspect the same is true for many of our students who traverse the landscape of our campus every day. Indeed, my title is president, but hopefully you will also see the substance behind the man who now occupies the seat of authority as the 11th chief executive of this campus. That is who you applaud this morning. You see, I love being a part of this Toro Nation, and I've embraced this historic legacy, a historic legacy of a campus that from its roots in South Bay, at South Bay State College, to the relocation and transformation after the Watts Rebellion of an educational institution that would serve as a gateway of opportunity and a vehicle of social and upward mobility for the residents of the urban core of South Central Los Angeles. See, the privilege of serving in this role is not a job, it's a calling. Let me say that again. This is not a job as a president, this is a calling. It's about a calling. One must be called to engage in social justice roots of this campus. One must be called to join with this illustrious faculty in educating our students and help them interrogate new ideas and discover new possibilities and learn new theories and constructs and be mentored and inspired to create the latest innovations. Yes, faculty? One must be called to join with the staff to provide services that support students in navigating the pathways to productivity and success. And those staff that ensure that our facilities are beautified and maintained and our grounds reflect real pride in the character of what a comprehensive regional university should look like, and all the people in the staff who are committed to just serving our students. One must be called to want to join California State University system with 23 campuses, the largest system of public higher education in this nation. We take a back seat to nobody in the CSU. So when you see that passion just oozing out, you see me salivating at the thought of coming to work every day, know that I have been called to this mission. And together with you, we're about to make some magic, right? And build on what we've been doing for decades now. I've also embraced the Toro mascot. I want you to know that. Oh no, don't get it twisted though. So let me try to go from the surface structure to the deep structure. Is that all right, Dr. Franklin? Because in reflecting on the meaning and the symbol of the Toro, I am drawn not to worshiping the animal, but rather to the qualities and characteristics that embody the spiritual essence of that Toro bull. Let's think about this a minute. Let me make it clear. See, the Toro is a Spanish bull, yes, but a Toro is a bull that is a symbol of power and a symbol of strength and regalness and presence and virility and stubbornness. It's not the animal we worship, but rather the creature whose qualities we should seek to emulate in the context of this campus culture and activity. What does it mean to be a Toro? It's virility. I'm talking virility here. It represents our institutional power to create and regenerate so that, right, we ask ourselves, what are we prepared to create? That's what Toros do. If we're going to be the bull, then represent the bull. It's strength. illustrates the backbone, the courage, the durability that we must show in engaging the academic enterprise. How strong are we prepared to be? The regal quality suggests that we should become masters of our own fate and not simply wait or depend on others to do for us what we can do for ourselves. That's what bulls do. What are we prepared to invest in our future is the question. What sacrifices are we prepared to make in order to make sure, right, that we adhere to, right, what is the best for this institution and generations to come? What is a Toro bull? Toro bull is stubborn as hell. But that stubbornness, that quality, illustrates our level of determination, an unwavering commitment, and a willingness to persevere through whatever adversities might come our way, be you administration, faculty, staff, and especially students. How do we help our students persist and retain their focus and presence on campus and continue a steady march toward graduation in 4 or 5 years? That's how stubborn we want them to be. That is what it means to be a Toro. These should be the qualities we should be teaching our students, and these are the qualities, along with the magnificent academic and co-curricular resources, that will help us continue to address issues of persistence and retention of our students. You agree with me? Yes. Everybody agree with me? Yes. That's what it means to be a Toro in this nation. We don't worship animals, we worship the qualities that they embody. And we seek to not just look at Toros, we want to be Toros. Be strong, be powerful, be virile, be persistent, be stubborn, but be stubborn in all the right ways that are going to help our students elevate so that they become masters of their own fate. That's what it means to be part of this Toro nation. Now, one of my heroes was Dr. Martin Luther King. And King argued persuasively in his sermon that was entitled The Drum Major Instinct. He argued for a new definition of greatness because he said everybody could be great because everybody could serve. Barbara Jordan, famed congresswoman and one-time presidential candidate, was fond of saying that it's a privilege to serve, a privilege that must be earned. And once earned, it is your responsibility to do something with it. I come to you as a servant leader to serve this campus. And my hope is that my commitment to be a servant leader will invite each of you, irrespective of your role on campus, to join me in serving this magnificent institution and serve each other. And serve each other. Because each of us has to engage in the issues that higher education confronts us with. Indeed, we are one of 23 campuses in the California State University system, privileged to educate over 490,000 students, 490,000 of them. That is the biggest system of public higher education in the nation. And as I've said to you before, there is no greater blessing in life next to being a parent than being entrusted with the personal and intellectual growth and development of these students that are on our campuses. That's how we do it in the Toro Nation. And if you think about that, and we provide them with the academic research and the co-curricular excellence and the teaching in the classroom, right, and access to one of the other 22 campuses that exist in the Cal State system, that is really what we come to serve. We come to serve their dreams and aspirations. We come to help, invite them to be all they can be in the context of all that work. We come to prepare tomorrow's workforce so that no corporation outside should be going anywhere other than Cal State University Dominguez Hills to get its workforce. Why? Because we are prepared to train the next generation of not only workforce, but workforce leaders who are prepared to take their rightful place of rulership and mastery over this world. That's what we want to do within this Toro Nation. Now, I should say that in addition to the 5 days of individual orientation and conversations in my transition meetings I had between the time I was appointed in May and, the end of June. I've now been on campus some 67 days. 67 days. And those days and weeks have been facilitated by tremendous support from former President Willie Hagan and this entire staff, and that's allowed me to scan the campus and to take a picture, to take a quick snapshot of this university, its history, and its people. So in taking this picture, right, and everybody kind of do this for me, just look at what you can see in this frame, right? As we think about taking a picture, you cannot take a picture as I start my new administration without recognizing and thanking our former president, Willie J. Hagan, for the marvelous job he did in stewarding this institution. Give it up for Willie Hagan. And see, that image that I see, that picture I've taken, reveals a portrait of opportunities and an equal number of challenges, as Chair Talamonte pointed out. On the opportunity side, what do I see? I see 6 schools or academic units: arts and humanities, business and public policy, education, natural and behavioral sciences, health, human services, and nursing, extended education, and a magnificent library that I would put up against anybody's, right? I see some 16,000 plus students, more than 700 faculty, an equal number of staff and administrators, each of us committed to facilitating the personal and intellectual growth and development of these precious students we have on our campus. I see inspiring points of distinction that are a source of tremendous institutional pride. Just look at how Dominguez Hills is glowing these days when I walk in and took that snapshot. I walked into an accreditation body who recently awarded California State University a full, not 6, not 8, but 10 years accreditation. That's a gold standard right there. I walked in and looked at a faculty distinguishing themselves with their intellectual and scholarly contributions. I walked into looking at named gifts, one of the largest and first faculty bequest that will endow our first chair in global and comparative politics. I walk in, and when you see me walking around the campus, I try to do that about a half hour every day just to get out and meet folk and look at buildings. But I always bear witness to my new science building, right? And that new science and innovation building that is dotting our horizon will transform both the academic infrastructure of this campus and the feel of the aesthetic ambiance of the place. Remember, I say it is the outer garment that best adorns the inner beauty of the person. Let me say that again. It is the outer garment that best adorns the inner beauty of the person. So when you walk into a campus and you see the new science buildings going up, when you look at the new innovation and instruction building going up, when you look at the plans for the new residence halls coming up, it is the outer beauty that best adorns the inner beauty of what's inside this campus. Why does that picture look bright? It's because, right, the LA 2050 Challenge Grant Award that now allows us to take a magnificent program that empowers teachers to empower students and scale up to impact greater segments of the K-12 workforce. Why are we glowing? Record numbers of students enrolling in our campus. Why are we glowing? $1 million allocations that come from the state legislature to facilitate a legislative caucus to support a center named after a famed state legislator. Why am I glowing? We have students, I read in the Dominguez Hills magazine, Dominguez Today, that are civically engaged in helping their communities, to undergraduate research programs and opportunities to assist both students and faculty in that. Why am I glowing? I see staff dedicated to providing students with the best services in areas of mental health and disability support and undocumented assistance and health care and career advice and internships and placement and financial aid and facilities and maintenance and much more. I see lots of Toro pride here. And most recently, we were all treated to Money Magazine. Money Magazine looked at 727 campuses across this nation and decided what was the best return on investment you could have in public higher education in this whole nation, and private education, by the way, it wasn't just public. 727 of them. And Dominguez Hills is number 45. Number 45. What a tremendous breadth and depth of resources that characterize this institution's substance. Indeed, there's much to be proud of as we celebrate this place we call the Toro Nation. Yes? Got a lot to be proud of. That's what we're looking at. But in my work as a psychologist, I've stylized a piece of wisdom in my scholarship and writing. And it simply says that life at its best is a creative synthesis of opposites in fruitful harmony. Let me say that again. It says life at its best is a creative synthesis of opposites in fruitful harmony. It has a lot of different meanings. But one of them is that sometimes our greatest strength can also be our greatest weakness. Sometimes our greatest weakness, our greatest strength. So while that snapshot, right, of the campus I previously outlined creates a portrait of a university that is glowing in its own image and ripe with possibilities, I also want to remind us that whenever one takes a picture, there is always more outside of the frame than one can ever hope to capture within it. So I hope today, as we have assembled to engage in this convocation ritual, to help each of you, faculty, staff, administration, students, academic senate, student body elected officers, retired annuitants, union officials, executive administration. We have our Queen Mothers present with us today. We got everybody in the community gathered around for this convocation ritual. I hope to help you see and imagine other elements of campus life and culture that exist outside of that frame that demand not simply our awareness, but our commitment and purpose-driven intentionality to elevate our game as Toros. And we got to realize the full measure of our promise and possibility as a campus of the California State University system. See, beyond embracing the legacy of the Toro Nation and the mascot of the Toro Bull, I stand before you today prepared to embrace the principle we call the alchemical process of human transformation toward perfectibility. It's a fancy way of saying we be in the moment, but while we be, we are always in a state of becoming more better. We want to be more better. But being more better requires that I bring to the table the spirit of imagination and invite all of you to imagine with me, right? It's good to dream sometime. Y'all like dreaming sometime? Come on, dream with me, right? You see, imagination. It's that mental process that we form creations of visions of possibility and potential. Imagination focuses less on what is and instead on what could be. It's less about the comfort of one's immediate reach and more about the unsteadiness of one's grasp as we look beyond what is convenient and what one thinks is possible. It focuses less on the 8 out of 10 reasons why we can't get something done and instead focuses on the 2 out of 10 why we can. I need you to dream with me. I grasp for the possible and not just the predictable. And so I imagine. I want you to imagine with me an institutional culture that could understand if it has been conceptually incarcerated so that it could unlock the shackles that keep it from maximizing its potential. I mean, just imagine a campus that could discover that we are more than the sum total of what a system decides that it wants to relegate us to receive. And instead, to dream about what we all deserve, right, if only we allow ourselves to dream. I don't want us to settle for what has traditionally been the case. That's just us at Dominguez Hills. I want us to dream about what's possible and what we deserve. I mean, just imagine a new metric. Because I'm looking at metrics here talking about we're going to help our students try to get to this plateau, right, of 30 and 40 and 50%. Imagine a new metric where despite the high percentages that we embrace, we have high underrepresented minority students. We have high Pell eligible students, which means we've got a lot of students who are economically challenged in their families. We have a high first generation population. And even though we talk about it and frame this as kind of developmental needs, we have a high degree of students who are in need of some level of remediation in terms of their academics. That's what education is supposed to do. As I've said to you before, right? I've been at institutions where we set records with 117,000 applications for 4,420 freshman spots, and average GPAs were 4.2. That's a top 1% of the normal curve. But if we're going to spend our time in the Turtle Nation, see what I want the 1.9 student who could be a 2.5. I want the 2.5 who could be a 3.0. I want the 3.0 who could be a 3.6 going to a doctoral program someplace with just a little bit of care and nurturance and love and support. And that's why I want to say good morning, Toro citizen. I respect your humanity, and I bear witness to your success. Because if I can see the success in them, then maybe they will what? Begin to see it in themselves. See, I dream about this. I want you to imagine a metric where we can bust through a 50% graduation rate to achieve levels, hear me now, of 60% and maybe even 70%. Why can't we? Why can't we? See, I think our students are that bright. I think our faculty are that brilliant and capable. Why? Because I've seen it. Even in my first 67 days, I've seen it. But I don't know that we all believe it yet. And my job in leading this orchestra with all the magnificent instruments you play is to make sure that everybody sees that same vision. Just imagine new and innovation interdisciplinary academic programs that excite the passion, the potential for students that also align with the needs and demands of the greater career marketplace and workforce, so that everybody's coming to the Toro Nation to get the students we graduate. Just imagine. Imagine growth in our faculty where new scholars will be recruited and hired to join more experienced colleagues, help us enhance already strong academic departments, and maybe even shore up ones that could use some attention, including attention to our tenure density issue. That has to change. It has to not just change a little bit, it has to change a lot, even if we have to almost flip it on its head, right? We need full-time faculty here so we can engage students in the most meaningful way so that we can help them not have what you call, right, the pinball-style interactions where they just come to a class, hit the local union for a sandwich, and then they heading out home. We need to keep them on campus, but we need full-time people to help us do that. Y'all feeling me on that? Right? I mean, just imagine the knowledge and the discoveries we generate could be more than just brag and pride points, and in addition, be leveraged to truly demonstrate why and how the information we produce at this campus make a fundamental difference in the lives of the people outside of these institutional walls and boundaries. I don't want us to just know we are that good. I want the whole public to know why what we teach and research and the discoveries that we make matter to them outside. And if they don't know that, we aren't doing our job well enough. That's the kind of support that we will need from the public. I mean, just imagine. See, I imagine a physical plant where new buildings will replace old crumbling infrastructure. And what can be repaired will be repaired. I imagine a commuter campus that needs to transform exponentially into a residential one. I imagine academic rankings becoming so impressive that outside world looks at Cal State University, Dominguez Hills, right, to say that we want more of the folk outside, that this is their destination campus, and they're putting everybody else aside to be able to walk and get some of what we are giving out at this place. I mean, just imagine a campus culture that fully commits to empowering all students in recognizing that circumstances are places students come from, but not who they are at the core of their being. Let me say that again. Circumstances are places students come from, but it is not who they are at the core of their being. Our students may come from poverty, but their spirits are still rich. They may come from violent surroundings, but they can still have peaceful hearts. They may have performed poorly on a test or been educated in less than ideal schools, but they still have the insatiable thirst for intellectual engagement that forces them to tap into the full measure of their own intellectual capacity and creative genius. They may even come from affluent or privileged backgrounds, wherever those places may be, but still have never known the comfort of a caring or nurturing faculty or mentor who could guide them on their own pathway to success. See, irrespective of their particular station in life, I want you to know, and all of us to know, that circumstances or places our students come from, it is not who they are at the core of their being. Do y'all believe that with me? See, I imagine a student community. I've talked to Christian about this already. And a faculty and staff who support them, that transforms queries of what is it going to cost us and what we can't afford. I want to transform that into statements like, what are we prepared to invest in our future and the future of generations to come after us who might benefit from the gifts that we might leave? I mean, just imagine students who would benefit from new recreation centers. Do you think our students deserve new health and wellness and recreation centers? You think our students need esports stuff? Expanded technological, right, sophistication in ways that facilitate their access to try to close the gap that Chris tells me about, this digital divide that is created. You think our students don't deserve that? They can have that if they're only willing to invest in their future and the future of their peers. Indeed, the great Algerian psychiatrist Frantz Fanon reminds us clearly when he wrote that each generation out of relative obscurity must reach out and seek to fulfill its legacy or betray it. The question is, what is this current generation of students prepared to do to fulfill its legacy and create a legacy for the generations to come after them? That's the question. What are we prepared to invest in our future? I mean, just imagine an expanded donor base where our philanthropic support reaches new levels of giving, but only if we are prepared to invest in ourselves as much as we ask others to invest in us. And I'm going to be out there working every day on your behalf, going to more breakfasts, lunches, and dinners than Carrie can put on my calendar. I will work tirelessly for that, along with your First Lady, who, by the way, is a volunteer, not a paid staff. She volunteers her time, right? She volunteers her time to be out there with us to do that, right? I don't want you to get it twisted here, right? But as we think about that in an expanded donor base of giving, we've got to be able to give ourselves. I'm reminded, Honorable Marcus Garvey is very clear when he says that chance never satisfies the hope of suffering people. It's only through hard work, persistence, and what else? Self-reliance, by which people ever realize the light of their own freedom. We can continue to ask the legislature and the chancellor's office and other folks, please help us because we need. And that's one posture. And I am as big a warrior and an advocate for that as you will find. But I'm not about to go out and ask folks to help take care of us when we can do things for ourselves. All that takes is will and a question of what are we prepared to sacrifice. Laura talked about it earlier. Sure, we can complain about it's inconvenient because a new building coming up, but you can't see the vision of a brand new building coming up over there. Those new buildings, the science building on this side, where's Dean LaPole? I saw him in there somewhere. There he is. The new science building right, we got here, right? Dean Wynn, I see sitting next to him with the Innovation and Instruction building that'll house our College of Business and Public Policy. Those are game changers. The new Residence Hall is a game changer. Why? Because it not only impacts our ability to deliver instruction and research, our capacity is exponentially increased, but it also increases the aesthetic ambiance of the place that just makes it a beautiful place to come. That's what I imagine. But we can't ask donors to invest in us and give us money if we aren't willing to invest in ourselves. That's the question. You see, your new president is just audacious enough to imagine a voice. I want you to hear that voice that is not locked away in the abyss of uncrystallized mental musings, that reduces it down to just useless chatter. We can't afford to have just voices that are just about useless chatter. What I want is a voice that is prepared to take flight amid an air of intellectual stimulation and authentic support for each other and a constant refrain of encouragement, and not one that is tethered to an anchor of negativity and delights in choosing up sides as if somehow we're all on a different side of the battlefield. I still see a little too much of that in this portrait. You see, I can imagine just tuning out some of those voices. Voices that want to denigrate others as a way of affirming themselves. We got enough of that in Washington right now, let alone trying to bring that to our campus, right? Toros do not denigrate ourselves so that we can affirm ourselves. We elevate each other. That's the voice I can imagine. I can tune out a voice that imagines that our students aren't capable enough, who can't see the hidden genius that is in a lot of these students that we teach every day, because I know how capable they can be. And they got everything in them, already given to them by the ancestors and the Creator to be successful. I mean, just imagine a theme. Willie Hagen, at his inaugural address, said, "America happens here." And I love that, and that stuck with David and I when we were here, right, for his investiture. But just imagine a theme. Want to know what the new marching order is now? It says, Toros are T squared. T squared. We transform lives that transform America. Oh, you didn't hear me. See, that is what we do in the Toro Nation. And it'll be my job and your job to tell that story and sing that refrain that our mission is to transform lives that transform America. That is our mission. And that is what we will do. Just imagine a belief where all of our students at the California State University, Dominguez Hills, could be seen as those seeds of divinely inspired possibility that they are. That if you can nurture it in a proper context, it'll grow into the fullest expression of all they are supposed to become. Just imagine a campus that is seen as the soil into which those seeds of possibility are placed. And if we water it with the drops of intellectual enlightenment, if we give it the nutrients of encouragement and proper value orientation and co-curricular learning, and we take the tools we have and we take the weeds of distraction out of their lives, and we give them just enough sunlight of affirmation and just enough shade of critique, and then just stand back and watch them grow into the fullest expression of all they are supposed to become. That is what Dominguez Hills is. We are the soil that is going to help these young people grow. Just imagine why we transform lives that transform America. Why it is that we are that soil. See, I'm audacious enough to believe that we can do this. We can do this. But I know we will need some help. So starting today, as your president, and I'm going to get on every magazine, every Twitter, every other thing I can get on, I am calling all Toros home. Calling all Toros home. Every one of our alumni we're going to try to contact. We got a new banner campaign we've just launched today that is out there. We are calling all Toros home. Why? Because every Toro has something to give. Oh, you didn't hear me. Every Toro has something to give, right? I think you can help. I think some Toros, right, may have time. You have time to give, to provide encouragement, to provide mentoring, to provide support for our students. You may not have time, but you may have a willingness to share your bounty and your money to help us raise scholarship dollars for these students. You may not have time or money, but you can even give a word of encouragement. If you only have, where are my students at, a word of encouragement to each other. If you could walk up and down the road and just give them a piece of encouragement every day to say, Toros, welcome to this place. I respect your humanity and I bear witness to your success. Even that encouragement says all Toros have something to give. Yeah? Because that is what will stop ultimately folk from having these pinball-style interactions where they go to class, local union for a sandwich, and then they leave. I want to engage them. That's how we're going to turn around these numbers. That's how we're going to change our retention and persistence rates. That's how we're going to change our 4- and 6-year graduation rates. And y'all think we can do this? Sure we can. Sure we can. All Toros have something to give. And as your president, I'm calling all Toros home. And I'm prepared to give my time, my energy, my contacts, my resources, and encouragement, right, to this most noble endeavor with all of your help. As I close, know that I'm excited about the possibilities and prepared to engage the challenges that lay ahead. With all of your help, your support, your commitment, and your prayers, yes, I need those too, we can help this campus realize a greater measure of its promise and possibility. We are doing pretty doggone good right now, but it's not as good as we could be doing. And with your help and support, what we're going to try to do is just, right, keep that trajectory pointed in that right direction, right? We can help realize a greater measure of our promise and possibility. I want to remind you that an opportunity, right, an opportunity to grow this Toro nation in important ways is a threat if you only predict failure. But it's a challenge if you think we just might win at this. Y'all think we can win at this? Yes. Let me say that again. An opportunity is a threat if you only predict failure, but a challenge if you think we just might win at this. You believe we can win? Yes. You believe we can win? Now, as your president, I'm not asking you for 100% better on 50 things you do. I run that fast. My cabinet is looking at me like, right? Like, can you slow down a little, Dr. P? I got a restless soul, so I want change, and I want greatness, and I want superb, and I want, right, for us to help these students and build this campus. I have a restless soul. I don't want 100% better on 50 things. I want to know, can you give me 5% better on one dimension of what you do in your role on this campus to help better educate our students? Our central mantra is what contributes to student success. And if you can give me 5% more, and we added up all the 5% in this room, we could literally transform this place overnight. Who thinks they can give me 5%? Who thinks they can give me 5%? Yes? So, our student body president threw down a challenge. And he said, I want to have some Toro Tuesdays. And I've initiated a monthly luncheon with our students. So we are bringing our entire cabinet, our academic senate chair, our dean of undergraduate education, our dean of graduate education, our chief of police, our athletic director. We're bringing everybody from the administration to sit with our students and let us hear your voice. It's your agenda. But I'm also going to be representing, right, on Toro Tuesday. So I want to thank our communications team. Our new theme, that your president going to be flying on every plane I run in around the world, every place I go around the country. I want you to know that I'm sporting the gear. I just picked up this jacket this morning we had made. It is called Cal State University, Dominguez Hills. It says, Toros are T squared. We are transforming lives that transform America. Y'all with me? Everybody stand up for me. Everybody repeat, Toros are T squared. We transform lives that transform America. Toros are T squared. We transform lives that transform America. Good day, Toro citizen. I respect your humanity, and I bear witness to your success. Thank you very much for being here with us.